There we go. One of the biggest things that I realized about fatherhood is we have to be very careful about our expectations. Today's topic is your presence is way more powerful than your perceived perfection. I want you to put this in your phone. Y'all got your phone with you? I got some stuff I need you all to look up on your spare time because it's going to give you some context about the uphill battle we call fatherhood. It's still a battle, and you're still in the middle of it. We're not going to talk about fairness this morning because fatherhood ain't nothing fair about it, is it? But I will tell you this. Fairness is not more important than favor. Perfection is not more important than your presence. Can y'all type that in your phone for me? Because there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to be questioning yourself. Fatherhood includes a lot of isolation, does it not? You feel alone in life. And there are a lot of people who don't even understand the sacrifices you make. I'm going to tell you why. I had a father that was nonverbal. Anybody had a father in here that was hard for you to talk to him? Guess what I found out, fellas? Fatherhood sometimes ain't got no words. Y'all hear me? Fatherhood ain't got no words. That's the reason why I got to go talk to him. His presence said way more than his words could ever do. So I want y'all to understand me here. Remember, fatherhood ain't fair, is it? But what does it have? Favor. We need to be looking for the favor because looking for the fairness gets us disgruntled and it will cause depression. Y'all understand? Fatherhood is a specific position. Say specific.
Specific.
The reason why it is a specific position because no one can play it but you. Just like motherhood. A mother is a specific position. But I don't want you to get lost in the comparison because nothing can compare like the person who's the progenitor of a bloodline. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So I don't want you to start comparing and wondering why things are being treated differently. When you walk into a room, and I want y'all to hear me loud and clear, I'm in a lot of schools, man. I'm in a lot of schools. I even taught at the university, right? One thing that no one had to say this morning was the body language that I witnessed from the children when they knew y'all were here. Now, when the children walked in, they had sugar and they were still calm. Don't mess with theirs. I said, the baby's going to eat with them? They're like, yeah. I'm like, ooh, we about to see. But guess what? Even when they get that sugar rush, your presence balances them out no matter what they had to consume. When they walked in, I have not seen children that calm in the last few months. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And remember when hopefully I shook your hand. If I didn't, I want to shake it before I leave. When y'all walk in with your children, when they know you're there, most of y'all wasn't just speaking to them and just saying a whole bunch of stuff. They were just calm just by you being where? Present. Did you have to be perfect to come here this morning? And I'm going to give you a cheat code for the rest of your life. Perfection is never good enough. And I'm going to tell you why. Most perfect people will prioritize other people's perception over their own position as a father. Think about how many people have to look the part instead of being the part. So your perfection don't even exist. So do you see how people can stress themselves out trying to look like a perfect dad or look like a good man instead of being yourself? Some of us tried to be a good man so long because we believed a narrative about our father that we couldn't understand until we became one. He couldn't even tell you what he was going through. Now remember, did our fathers make some mistakes? Can we be honest? Some of the most egregious mistakes, some of our fathers didn't they? Let me tell you what favor includes. If you didn't choose your father, you didn't even choose his mistakes either. So I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. Your father's mistakes was research that he did for you so you wouldn't have to do it. I'm going to repeat it again. Please put this stuff on your phones because I need you all to say this when you're by yourself. Some of the most detrimental stuff that you hear is some of the stuff you may say in the mirror. Y'all understand where I'm going with this? Some of the things that our fathers have done, they were grave mistakes, but they were really intentional research so we don't have to repeat it. Some of y'all are involved because you had an uninvolved father. Raise your hand if that was your case. You're very involved because you had a father that wasn't. Now, you saw how the research popped up, right? He wasn't there. You know the feeling. So guess what? If you already know the feeling, you're using that research to make sure you're present in your child's life. Am I wrong? So guess what happens? Some of our fathers are verbal and they're very intentional about laying out the roadmap. But I will tell you this. A lot of people in general do not have the skill set to verbally explain everything that's going to happen. Sometimes the minimum and the maximum was them letting you witness what they're doing. So after a while, when you got into adulthood and manhood and fatherhood, you start having instant replays. How many of y'all have instant replays about your childhood and say, you know what? I thought that was one way, but now as a father, I see why he was by himself. I always have this running joke. Have y'all ever seen those family photos and everybody smiling except the father? And more I start researching why. It's because he found out that nobody may understand. He found out that his expectations that everybody's going to like him are too dangerous, and the only thing he had was his contribution. And I'm not saying he had a sad life. I'm just saying that he was so focused that a pep talk and motivation was not going to get him through fatherhood. He was focused on the favor in that picture. And that favor don't feel good all the time, do it? Can't nobody sub for you. That's pressure, ain't it? Right. So guess what? That look of determination in a family photo when everybody's smiling, fathers don't smile because you never get off work. You can't clock out. When everybody having a good time, your facial expression sends a message out into the world that it still ain't no play with my family. They was focused and locked in on those pictures. It was not because they didn't want to be there. And remember, as children, we're forced to draw conclusions. How many of y'all have witnessed that your children draw pictures before they spell words? Psychologically, images are the first language. Your first language is your body image, body language. Your presence will say way more than your mouth could ever think of. Y'all understand what I just said? Body language, body image. When they walk into the room, that eye contact does something so serious, words cannot even express. When your father, the one that you have the blueprint after, acknowledges your presence, even if you're not saying it with your mouth, when you look at them in the face, even if they tremble a little bit, they still say it. Even when they tremble a little bit, they are still safe. And I want y'all to be very careful about what I'm about to say. Your presence as a man was not built to make people comfortable. Your presence as a man and a father was not intended for external comfort. You want to know why? If you provide and you protect, the people who don't want you to do that should be nervous. Y'all heard what I just said? If you're here to provide and protect, the people who don't want you to do it, they're supposed to be uncomfortable. So when you're around other people who are not comfortable with you being there, I need you to understand that's a part of the favor. It ain't fair that you're not welcome, but you belong. One of the most dangerous things we can do as men and as fathers is wait for an invitation in places that people really don't want us to be at. But guess what? We belong. The earth is yours. The earth is yours. And when you walk on this planet, your children need to see how you walk. Now remember, think about this. Some of us don't remember everything our father said, but we'll remember where he was and what time. Do y'all remember that? Y'all may not remember every talk, but y'all remember where he was sitting. You remember that game where you saw him, he was over there by the goalpost by himself looking. Y'all remember certain things about his presence, right? So guess what happened? All the things your dad said, but his presence is what you remember the most. What do you think is a little bit more important now? Trying to be the best speaker to your children, or just being? Just being, man. Unnecessary pressure is one of the main reasons why some of our fathers don't know how to interact with their own families, because they're taking their childhood into fatherhood. Okay? Now let me give y'all an example. The same homework you did in elementary school, could you take that same skill set to high school and it match? Or did you have to evolve to get to high school? You had to evolve, is that correct? Your childhood was not a mistake. It had specific challenges, uphill battles that formulated the whole equation that equals up to you this morning. Does that make any sense? Some of this stuff that you saw, you weren't supposed to see it, but you were built to see it. You were built for it. Was it fair? Was somebody supposed to do that and say that to you? Absolutely not. Were you strong enough to handle it? What's the evidence? Look around the room. Just look around the room. Look at each other. Give each other eye contact. Just give each other eye contact. Y'all ain't even got to be best friends. You really don't. Because honestly, you don't even have time for another friend. You're still thinking about if they're going to trip at you at work today. But I want y'all to understand this. You just witnessed something, right? And I'm going to show you how powerful being a witness. You just looked around the room, and you just witnessed no matter what everybody just went through in their childhood, it didn't kill them. You heard me? When you look around the room, some of us will never tell you what happened. And I'm a therapist. Some dude showed up, I know I need therapy, but I ain't telling you nothing. I said, all right, well, we're going to look at this video. We're going to sit here and chill for a minute. And guess what I did? I showed him respect, something that he never seen before, and after about 4 or 5 sessions, he couldn't stop talking. One of the number one reasons why a lot of men don't talk is because a lot of people don't know how to listen to men, because our voices and the words in our presence can be extremely inconvenient. You are not a convenience store. You are a man. Does that make sense? When you walk into a room, have you ever seen kids that was all over the place and you just walk, you ain't even yelling. All of a sudden they straighten up. Do you know, I was talking to another therapist and he was like, you understand that's nature, right? I said, what do you mean? He said, have you ever noticed that when it's raining, people can still be out there playing? But when you hear that thunder, that's when everybody's like, yo. Your voice has a specific frequency and a cadence. When you walk into the room, have you noticed that you don't have to yell? Only thing you have to do is just be and speak. Hey, do what your mama told you to do. And all of a sudden, their body just start performing. Because that thunder lets you know it can get worse if you don't get in the house. That's our favor. Y'all understand? Let me give you the power of a witness. No matter what happened to you, I want you all to identify with something. I need you to put this in your phone. The witness is the most powerful person in the court of law. The witness. The witness. You are not only a student or a victim to what happened, but you are a witness to what happened in your life, and you are witnessing that it didn't kill you. I need y'all to hear me loud and clear, because some of us have been through too much. We start identifying with what happened. No, you saw what happened to you, but it's not you. Y'all understand? Remember I told you that you can be inconvenient with your presence, right? Remember, you look like people in history that you never met. You'd be surprised what some of our ancestors did to some of the people that mistreated you. You'd be surprised. Now, when I say did to them, meaning they did not shuffle, they didn't hide, their presence was intimidating, and you look like some of the people that really changed this world. And for people who didn't want that to happen, your presence will make them uncomfortable. I need you to be a witness of it. Because guess what happens? I want y'all to be very careful about apologizing for just being there. It's one thing about apologizing for not being there. But a lot of people who say, oh, you scared me, or you made me feel this type of way. People have every right to feel any type of way when you walk into a room. But you have to be very careful about apologizing for your presence, because that's when we step out of our favor and start looking for fairness. Your favor is non-negotiable. Y'all understand? So now, your childhood and your adulthood, be a witness to what you went through. You're not a victim. You are a witness. Why? The witness in a courtroom can change the whole verdict. Have you noticed that? Most of the time, the victim or the prosecutor has to persuade people, right? Have to make them believe something. Is that correct? The witness don't have a dog in the fight. The witness don't care about opinions. Hey, look, I was just an innocent bystander. This is what happened. That person did that to that person. Am I done? All right, peace. Go on about their day, but they left an impact of the whole court of law, did they not? In manhood, you are in a court of law everywhere you step. Somebody's going to have an opinion about what you said, what you looked like, what you did and did not do. The only thing you're supposed to do is give a witness testimony. I'm here. I did this. I didn't do that. But I'm here, and get off the stand. All of that over-explaining about, I'm sorry I didn't make you this, I'm sorry I didn't do this. I want y'all to understand this. I'm seeing a lot of fathers minimize themselves for the comfort of people who don't even know what fatherhood is. They're minimizing themselves. That's the reason why it's a lot of fathers. How many of y'all have been told you're supposed to provide and protect for your family? Raise your hand. That's what you were told. Now, how many of y'all were told provide and protect, but you didn't get the blueprint and the step-by-step playbook? You were told it, but nobody said, okay, play one. This is what you do. So what's more dangerous? And all of us are at some type of job. If you were told to have a task, but it was no line of process or procedures to follow, what kind of things are they setting you up for? Provision and protection are some of the most vague life assignments I've ever heard, because they vary depending on the situation and they vary depending on the consequence. Okay? Now, every family, your specific family is your assignment. We can talk about what we do in fatherhood. We can talk about protection and provision. But your version of protection and provision is the only version that exists on this planet. It's so different, and it's distinct, and it's specific. Because when I go home to my wife, you have to go home to yours. And it may not be the same. Does that make sense? I want y'all to hear me loud and clear too. I know we have children. I know we've adopted other people's children. And I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. Even if you already know it, I'm going to show you what to say to other men who don't understand it. Right now, we have to be in a position where we have to have the mindset of anytime when we share our bodies with a woman, we're inviting a child to the planet. It's an invitation. It's not just a date. It's not just fun. It is an invitation that some of these children are RSVPing. No matter what you try not to do. Does that make sense? So guess what? A lot of people said provide and protect. They missed out a huge portion. You're supposed to vet, provide, then protect. The vetting process has to be extreme, gentlemen. How many of y'all are not married? Put your hands down. How many of y'all are married? Okay, some of y'all raise your hand twice. All right. I give free therapy services after because I know y'all. Okay. You're like, I don't know. We had an argument this morning. I don't know what's going to happen today. But this is what I mean. The men who are not married and the ones who are married, who you choose to share your body with. I need you to hear me. A lot of us have had narratives about men are not good. Men are not good. How many of y'all have heard that as you were growing up? Have y'all heard of this thing called sugar, spice, and everything nice? All right. Did y'all hear what was said about us? Does anybody ever remember? And that says a lot. You know what everybody else is supposed to look like, but we don't even remember our part in the whole equation. They were saying that women are sugar, spice, and everything nice, And some of us thought we were supposed to put up with verbal and physical abuse because they were all nice. Let me repeat what I just said. When we keep hearing things as a kid, how many of y'all ever heard a song that you didn't like? Raise your hand. You heard a song you didn't like? Have you noticed that the radio plays that song the most? They play it so long, you know the lyrics by now, right? So if you know the lyrics, you start singing along, it becomes a part of you. Have y'all seen that? So if you think everybody's sugar, spice, and everything nice, you will look over the abuse they were going to give to you and your seed. When we share our bodies with another woman, we have to be cognizant and very focused. And I'm not preaching to you. I'm telling you what you need to tell other men who don't know these words. If you lay down with someone who does not respect you, that's child abuse now. Hear what I just said. If you lay down and share your body with someone who does not respect you, it has to be looked at as child abuse. If they don't respect you, what do you think they're going to do to the most vulnerable part of you when it gets here? I'm not telling you to be abstinent. I'm not stupid. Because I know it ain't going to happen. But what has to start happening is the level of self-respect you have. Because a lot of us have heard a lot of negative things about our father, and when we look in that mirror, we see him. And some of us have been manipulated to be a good man because someone used his image or the image they wanted you to believe as a carrot or a scapegoat to control us. And this ain't my opinion. This is not me just going against people that I don't know. I'm a therapist, y'all. My main thing is to make sure a lot of men ain't committing suicide, bro. I'm hearing several stories about the last thing they wanted to do was look like or be like somebody that made their mother cry. But I want y'all to understand this. Our mothers cry for several reasons. And we took some of the conclusions that we draw like children into our fatherhood. One of the main things I've noticed about being a man and being a father is when you can look at your mother like a woman. Anybody understand what I just said? The authority of your mother can blind you from what actually happened in your childhood. But when you start looking at her as a woman, you can begin to see your father. This is from personal experience. What did I start this whole talk about? What am I going to do in the next couple of weeks? Yes, sir. Why? Because some of the things I concluded, I took to him my conclusion. And I said some things I shouldn't have said. I did some things I shouldn't have done because I didn't do the proper vetting process to see everything that happened. I took my emotions as a 6 and 7 and 8-year-old kid and I lashed out at him and I didn't even know half the story. Our children have the skill set of their age group. Some of them are going to blurt out certain things that you're going to be like, hold on, you don't even know how long I've worked today. Who told you I don't love you because you understand what I'm saying? The favor ain't fair. The opinions and the angles about your fatherhood are always going to be coming from people who are not in your position. That's one thing that I realized a lot of those fathers who was in that picture not smiling, they realize no matter how much I do, it's a huge possibility they ain't going to understand it until they walk in it. Are y'all hearing me a little bit? Now watch this. A lot of us, again, the sugar, spice, and everything nice. The opposite for us was snakes, snails, and puppy dog tails. Do y'all remember that? Now guess what happens? When you teach that over and over again, this is what I'm dealing with in middle school and high school. A lot of boys put up with a lot of physical and emotional and verbal abuse because they think they're supposed to do it because they think being a man is bad. This is not me making it up, gentlemen. These are boys I have in my office when I visit some of these schools. Girls are verbally abusing these boys, and they're going out and taking out their frustration out in the world. Because some of them think they might deserve it, and they can't hit anything back. They can't even say anything back, so they may bring it to you. What's the answer to it? I don't know yet, and that's honest. I don't know yet. But I will tell you what we have to do as men. Tell the truth. When you're talking to a young man and he's going through all these different things, and some of y'all went through it too because I can see it in your face. Some of y'all have had things said to you. Some of y'all have been physically abused. by someone your whole life and your father wasn't there, and we think domestic violence is flirting. Some of us don't even know how to be a man and a human being at the same time. Some of us, even at your jobs right now, you ain't even got to agree with me. Some of y'all have put up so much at your job, you don't even know they've been violating HR policies. The things that they're saying and doing to you are HR policy violations, but you think because you're a man, you're supposed to take it. What I need you to do is be a man, accept the manhood, but you need to include your humanity. Because guess what happens when we lose our mind? That's when we just start kicking out our humanity for too many years in a row. And we become the villain that everybody needed us to be to satisfy their narrative. It's a vicious cycle, fellas. So guess what I need you all to do? With all the protection and all the provision that you are supplying to your family, you need to be a part of that family. You have to protect yourself. Verbal disrespect, physical disrespect has to stop. It's not cute and, oh, somebody been through so much, so I need to just take it. Psychologically, we're not in a place to add more verbal abuse. Y'all hear me? I got really upstanding, God-fearing men who are losing it because they're at their limit. We got limits, fellas. That's the reason why if you look for fairness, it'll turn you into a monster. Look for the favor and know the fairness ain't there, so you can now sit up and say, hey, you can't talk to me like that just because you're upset. If you can't calm down, what we're going to do is get some space, and when you're ready to respect me, I'll show up. The boundaries are mandatory now, gentlemen. Because if you keep playing dangerous games about being disrespected, you may lose your cool at the wrong time and risk not ever seeing your children again. And guess what? A lot of people know that they can do a lot of things around you, and as soon as you respond with your humanity, they know they can get you. Look at what some of y'all are going through at work. There's a lot of inappropriate stuff that's been said to you, but if you respond to it, you know you got to go. Is that fair? No. Does it have favor in it? If you know the game. If you know the game. Now watch. A lot of us have believed that we're supposed to subject ourselves to a lot of different things. If you are not married, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. If you're not married, but this is a goal for you to be married, I'm asking the first thing you do is when you start dating someone, meet the oldest person in their family. The oldest, the one that ain't trying to impress you. Meet the oldest one. You need to know what that family dynamic is like. You need to know what that culture is like. Because you're going to bring your child in what? Their culture. Because we know we're going to have physical contact, and now the mindset has to be, we're inviting who? Every time we have physical contact, who we're inviting? Our children. It's an invitation, fellas. It's not just it's an invitation. The second thing, I want y'all to get STD testing on your first date. Your second date, excuse me. STD testing on your second day. Right now, I'm in charge of the Minority AIDS Initiative for HIV and substance abuse testing and education in Atlanta. Atlanta is not a place to play. It's not a place to play, gentlemen. Go and get tested. Third day, go to the doctor's office and they call just how much your bill is going to be when you go to the club or the bar. Go get a chromosome test. You need to know what type of DNA defects you both may have. Because now we got people who are mixing bloodlines and they part of the same. Don't even know it. Look how many people have been rejected and removed from their families. You don't know you may have the same great-grandfather. Get you a chromosome test to see what kind of defects you both may have. Because if you are anemic and she's anemic, but y'all don't know it, and one day your baby's breathing funny and you don't know why. Does that make sense? Get your chromosome test. And last but not least, if you're looking for a wife, they can't help you unless you're working. We've been entertaining people and proposing to people who we entertain, but marriage takes what? Work. Does it take work? We cannot vet people by entertaining them. We can only vet if they're working right next to us. Vast majority of your dates need to be work dates. Entertaining it, and after the 6th date of working, y'all need to be volunteering. You need to know how they treat older people. You need to know how they treat children. Because if they don't like children and you have a child with them, what did you do to your bloodline? You put them at risk. Is that provision or protection? So that provision and protection happens before we even father, gentlemen. If you have the bloodline in you and you have that preventative favor within you, you have to look out for your child before you have them. That's fatherhood. One of the things I just found out, fatherhood starts when you conceive the idea that fatherhood could exist for you. Right now, these boys in middle school have to act like a father now. Comment, raise your hand if you think you agree. Raise your hand if you agree. For the sake of our future, because we got a lot of these kids right now who are highly upset and they have a right. Guess what some children are telling me? That my parents didn't like each other. Why did they have me? What do you think what happens to a child's self-esteem when one parent is talking about the other half of them all day, every day? And we're wondering why these kids so angry. We took the spiritual invitation and we made it recreational. We played with it. And I'm not blaming you. I'm talking about as a whole. Does that make sense? So if we're trying to vet, provide, and protect, we're protecting and providing for people who may not be meant for us. Now, if that's your situation, I'm not telling you to leave and make no bad life decision. But I need you to step in your favor, because guess what? If you think people are going to change, it'll turn you into something else. It will turn you into something else. Your biggest concern right now, how many of y'all ever heard of unconditional love? Y'all ever heard it? I'm going to tell you what unconditional love is and what it is not. It is too dangerous to expect unconditional love from people who have conditions. If I'm in my feelings, that is a condition. How am I going to have unconditional love for you if I'm with you on the condition of how I feel when I'm around you? That straight face our grandfather had in that picture. And a gentleman told me this who was a veteran. We used to have this joke. He said, Dr. Pugh, I got the reason why we don't smile in the picture. I said, go ahead, lay it over to OG. That's what I call him, OG. He said, that picture lets everybody know that our unconditional love only comes from God. And we give it to everybody else. But most of us have our self-esteem kind of flipped. So we think we can prove ourselves to people who may be conditional, and we'll never get it from somebody we're expecting it from, and they don't even have the skill set to get it. I'm not saying they're bad people. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm saying it's we're expecting the wrong things from certain folks. So I'm going to give you another example. How many of y'all have noticed that disappointment can cause depression? You keep being disappointed over and over again. How many of y'all know? Raise your hand. It can cause extreme sadness. You keep being disappointed. I found out that depression comes from appointing the wrong people. We're appointing people in positions that don't have the skill set and didn't even apply for the job. Y'all understand what I'm saying? When we approach someone, instead of them being helpful and suitable, we're marrying them just because they fine and available. You don't have to be religious to read specific books. Some books are older than religion. And I know we're on a public space and religion is very, very touch and go. I would highly suggest y'all read the Bible and look at Genesis and see how that relationship kind of played out. Because no matter what happened, God is going to come and ask you, where were you? Your presence is the only thing that's going to be mattering this whole time. Because I will tell you this, the dangers of manhood, matching energy. Y'all ever heard this new thing about people matching energy? I'm going to tell you some wild stuff, and I need you to hear me loud and clear. Matching someone else's energy is putting them in control. You dictate the energy. You don't match it. When you walk in the house and it's disrespectful, you don't match energy, because as soon as you bite that fruit too, God going to come ask you, where were you? He's not going to ask the wife and the children, fellas. This is favor. It ain't fair. You got the assignment. You the head of the household. The first thing you do is go to the head. It don't matter what our society is trying to convince us. What does reality say? See, society and reality are always going to be a civil war. They're going to constantly try to change your perception. But you know the truth. Look at that family photo when your grandfather was not smiling. Does it look like he cared about how everybody felt about his position, or did he just know it? He knew it. He knew it. So the best way to play a game is to know that one game is being played. That's the first time. Some people are getting blindsided because they don't even know they're in the game. Psychologically, a lot of people do not understand what manhood is because a lot of people are talking about manhood who are not men, and a lot of people who are talking about fathers who are not fathers. Remember, when we were kids, I'll give you an example. Some of us were tricked into proving something because somebody said, if you do that, you'll be what? You'll be the man. Most of us made decisions that affected the rest of our lives because we were trying to prove being a man. Do you see how this fable works? It ain't even nothing to prove. You be. You cannot prove to your children you're a good father. Be there. But some of us are trying to buy the approval. When Christmas come around, trust me, I ain't exempt. Because this year I had to sit down and be like, no, we're going to have a budget because I'm going to be a good father. I'm already a good father. I don't have to make you smile and happy for a 2-week play date on this toy that's going to be in the dump. You don't understand what I'm saying? Most of us are trying to buy love and unconditional love by making sure that somebody's happy. Newsflash, other people's happiness has never been your time. You mind if I repeat it? Other people's happiness has never been your assignment. Y'all ever heard of that term, happy wife, happy life? Has anybody asked where it came from? Does anybody know? Y'all ready to laugh and be mad at the same time? Happy wife, happy life came from the early 1900s for people who were selling wedding rings. Look it up. I don't want you to think I'm lying, because remember, if I'm a dude talking to you, if I lie, you'll never trust me again. Look it up. Happy wife, happy life. Look up where it came from. It is a marketing tool. You've been marketed. You've not been taught. That's the reason why I provide and protect without telling you what it is. That's a marketing. That's not education. So if you don't know the steps behind what you've been told and the history behind it, that's programming. That's not purpose. Happy wife, happy life. And I will tell you this. It can make your life go upside down, because if you make something temporary and you set yourself permanently trying to satisfy something that's temporary like happiness, you'll lose your soul. I see it every day. How many men you think are in my office say, man, out of all the stuff I'm doing, how can she treat me like this? I said, you try to make her happy? He said, yeah. I said, some of y'all know this. And just stare at me and don't blink if this is true. The same thing that make them happy, make them sad. I want to be married. I'm sad because I'm married. I want to have children. I'm sad because I got children. You are not responsible for the ups and downs of humanity. They are not doing anything wrong. Our perception of what we have to do for them is out of balance, is out of whack, gentlemen. You have to be healthy in order to be the most dominant father that you can be. When you allow other people's happiness and emotional expectations rule your purpose, you can lose it. Does that make sense? Now I got a lot of fathers trying to buy love from their children, buying love from their significant other, buying love from their families, because now you're the breadwinner of not only your house, but 3 or 4 different households. Nod your head if you know what I'm talking about. And I will tell you this, do it out of service. This is what I found out the difference between service and everything else. Service is doing something without the expectation it's going to happen for you too. That's favor. Is it fair? Not at all. Half of the stuff you do for people, I don't even know if they got the skill set and the resources to pay you back. You hear me? So expecting them to do something you did for them, to do it for you, they literally and spiritually are not in the same position to do it. You, the father. Are they supposed to respect you? Non-negotiable. That's mandatory. Are they supposed to pay you back and do the same thing you do for them? I don't think it may be possible. So I want y'all to have realistic expectations of yourself, and that's called self-respect. When we have expectations of people outside of our body, that's a dangerous game now, because that disappointment, because we appointed the wrong people, it can make us, what the kids say now, crash out. It can make us start having risky behaviors, start going out and ruining our families, risking our families because no one's listening. And instead of going to God or therapy, we're going to diamond them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know where the camera is. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So now, self-respect is mandatory, gentlemen. I know y'all got to go to work. If you have to leave, now remember, as I'm talking, if you have questions, I'm going to do Q&A, anonymous questions. That index card in front of you, if you don't want to ask a question by showing your face, write it on the index card, and I'll gather them and I'll answer them one-on-one. After this talk as well, since I told you I recorded this, right? How many of y'all could benefit listening to this recording again? Okay, so I have this for you. However, what's not going to be recorded is your honest, anonymous questions. And the most, I don't like brutally honest, either it's honest or it's not. It's going to be uncomfortably honest and inconveniently honest. It ain't got to be brutal. It just got to be inconvenient. Do not ask a question you already know the answer to. You'll waste your own time. If you're dealing with issues in your family, with your children, and you're trying to figure out how can I improve my image because my image has been tainted so much, I will let you know this. Some of your children won't know what you did for them until they're an adult. So you're trying to buy their love right now, you're putting your money into a hole. I'll put it like this. I'm sorry. Guess what I have some fathers are doing now? Every time you think your child doesn't understand what you're doing for them, instead of buying them a toy, put in an investment account in their name. The same amount of money you spent on Christmas last year during the summer, put in an investment account in their name. Some of us are not even allowed to talk on the phone with our children a lot without having interruptions. Is that correct? Now, this is what I also have some fathers doing. Set up an email account for your child and start emailing them every time you want to talk to them. And one day when they say, "Did you love me?" print it out and let them read it in front of you. Don't give my email that somebody got access to so they can erase it. I know you'll have your sent folder, but you also want them to have access where they can always have it electronically, and they can go up and look up how much you love them. Say that again, sir. Get on it every 7 years or to go away. Thank you for that. But remember, some of us, like my father, this is what happened. My father's best friend told me, maybe like 4 years ago, my father passed away in 2013. His best friend said, "Your dad wanted to get with you all the time." He said he just didn't know how to. I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, man, your dad wanted to talk to you all the time. He just didn't know what to say. He was at a loss for words for the stuff that you witnessed." Because he lost his temper a lot, bro. Police was involved. It was messy. But he wanted to talk to me, but he said he didn't have the skill set. And I'm going to prove it to you. When he was passing away, I had to go to his deathbed, to make peace. He still didn't have the words. The last thing my father said to me was, "You always did right." I really wanted to say, "Man, what happened?" But a voice said, "You're not going to like the response because he still don't know how to tell you." He didn't have the skill set, and I had to grow up as a man to say, he may not be able to give me verbally what I'm looking for, but guess what he was doing even when he was passing away? He was present. So, what do we got here? 8:56. It's almost 9 o'clock. Do me a favor. If you write an anonymous question, what I'll do, I'm on YouTube too, and I want y'all to go and look up my information too, because I need y'all to save my information. I want you to write down your anonymous question. One day I will do a live on YouTube answering all these questions, and I'm going to send the link to the school. And y'all can get the link from the school. But I'm going to show you how to follow me directly. All right? So even if you don't see me one-on-one, I will answer your questions anonymously on YouTube with no name. Don't put your name on the cards if you want your question answered. If you have to leave by 9 o'clock, leave your questions. If you don't, I can answer them one-on-one because I'm going to be here for a while. Is that fair to you all? So I want you all to get out your phones real quick. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm asking you to do. A lot of men have breathtaking trust issues, specifically when it comes down to therapy. Okay? Right now, therapy is marketed, but it's not accurately applied. Because sometimes now people are just going just to say they're going, but when they go, a lot of people don't know how to respect them. So I want you to go to Google, type in manhood mindset. Manhood mindset. Got about 3 minutes. 3 minutes? We're good. All right. Manhood mindset. You don't have to go to the website. That's manhoodmindset.com. I need you to stay on the Google profile. Stay on the Google profile. When you go to the Google profile, just look at reviews. Click the word that say reviews. I need everyone in here, if you benefited from at least one thing that I've said today, when you go there, I need you to list a reason why another man should listen to what we're talking about. I'm going to tell you why. We got trust issues, right? When we go to a restaurant, don't we look at the reviews before we spend money? So we got trust issues, and guess what? It's mandated we're supposed to have trust issues. How you going to provide and protect trusting everybody? So I respect you enough that I have to earn your trust. Look at my record first before you refer. Go down and see what everybody says. Say what you're going to say, and then refer. Vet me before you provide and protect to your family. All right? Again, my name is Dr. Marion Christopher Pugh. I am also an author. I brought some books. If you would like to purchase some, it's called Thrival Kit. The best teacher is always the best student. I have several other things that I talk with you all about in my book. It's a very quick read. It don't take all day to say nothing. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's a short book. I'm not going to fluff. There is no motivation. It's straight up game. Y'all understand? Somebody can make you feel better and you still don't know what to do. What do we talk about provide and protect and then nobody tell you what it is? I'm not going to leave you out there hanging. I got certain things that you can follow and apply. All right? So, Manhood Mindset on Google. Please leave a review. All of my contact information is there. Website, email address, all of that. If y'all want to do group presentations or group sessions and all of that, my main goal is veterans, grandfathers, fathers, but I serve everybody. Most of my clients are women and girls. But I named it Manhood Mindset because we got trust issues, which we should. Everybody should not have access to your brain, fellas. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let me earn your respect. You know how I talk. Vet me. Go and see what other people have said. Go look at some of the videos and see, is he consistent? Or he just out here trying to sell and try to make some money, trying to give us some false information. Last thing, and I'll let you go. Right? Yes. YouTube is under Manhood Mindset. My full name is Marion Christopher Pugh. Last name is Pugh. And I have cards too, and I have a QR code if you want my information. All right? Yes.
No, I said that's why I want you to be my therapist.
I got you. Trust me, I got you. And I don't do regular therapy. We talk like we just talk. There's no clipboard or nothing involved. You ain't got to lean on the couch. I'm going to be like, talk, and I'm not going to lie to you. That's how I do it. There's no fluff, no waste of time. I don't clap and high five, and we don't know what we're talking about. Does that make sense? All right. Man, I was about to say something right before you said that. It'll come back. But at the end of the day, I applaud you. I respect you, fellas. I know we like saying I love you, but I promise you it's a different spiritual impact when you go up to a man you don't know and say, bro, I respect you. The word respect means to look again and focus. That's all it means. You don't have to promise an emotion to another man. We got trust issues, but you can show respect, right? So when you go up to a man today, practice for at least 3 people. Hey, bro, I don't know your name, but I respect you because I know what I be going through. Ain't no telling what you're going through, but I respect you. Don't tell people you love them if you don't. But that gives us more trust issues, don't it? Chill out with the emotional words if you don't mean it, fellas. We men. We got consequences. We got favor. It ain't fair. And everybody use that word. We don't. 13 Corinthians. I'll talk to y'all after. I know where we at. But love is documented and it ain't emotional. It's patient and kind, but everything else is about how you say no. Love is inconvenient, especially in manhood. Okay? Write this term down and I'm going to close. I want you to write down the anti-amalgamation law. I'm going to show you historically the reason why we've been treated certain ways. And I'm going to spell it. A-N-T-I, dash, amalgamation. A-M-A-L-G-A-M-A-T-I-O-N. It probably would have popped up by now, right? Anti-amalgamation law. This law was presented in the 1600s to make it illegal for European women to have relations and marry men of your descent. That anti-amalgamation law has morphed over the years to make you undesirable to everybody on this land. It is a historical aspect where your disrespect is coming from. When you read it, you're going to understand why you're going through it, not just internalize it because you think you're bad. Your image was tainted ever since the 1600s. Type in that name, look at as many videos as you can, and they're going to explain it because they made it illegal to marry you. So anybody who's trying to talk about procreating and marrying you, that energy and that spirit all the way from the 1600s that say your energy and your presence goes against their best interests. Your disrespect is historical. It ain't just personal. It's historical. Gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure speaking with y'all this morning. I hope it was helpful. Get to work and let them know I tried to bring you far the reason why you late.
Everybody, real quick, hold 1 second. Let's get one more round of applause for Dr. Appreciate you coming.
Oh, man.
I can't wait to get home and tell my wife what I learned today. I think the wife has his life. And so, seriously, real talk, me and I call him Chris, we go way back. So when you talking about the petty and all that, I'm telling y'all, he 100. He is what you see. Now, if you don't mind,
yeah, go ahead. Please don't, go ahead.
All right. I've just known him a long time since college.
Yeah.
But funniest guy I've ever known. And the reason I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I get it.
He learned.
Funniest guy I've ever known, he's a stand-up comedian. Now, so if you ever been out at comedy club in Atlanta, you may have seen him, or now if you go, you may see him. But when I tell you, it speaks about how well-rounded he is and what he has to offer, like, it speaks a lot. But, we go way back. Now, other people from the east side, I'll forgive him for that.
Hey.
But we all good now. He get most of his money on the west side.
So do.
On the south side of Atlanta. So, it's all good. But,
yes, sir.
At the end of the day, we appreciate you.
Man, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I know you have some cards and everything you want to set up. So before y'all walk out, make sure you get the card, information, and we get some pictures and, everything else. Appreciate it.
Man, thank you.
Hey, appreciate you all. Appreciate your time. Oh, we got to go out this way. So this is going to be the exit over here, guys.
Is it possible they can get a picture right here if they got time?
Yeah, you got time. Come up real quick.
Thank you, brother. I probably too, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I know y'all got to go, fellas. It ain't got to be real neat and all that. Just be real.
How do we get that video that you
oh, man. Let me stop recording. Hold on. All right. It's at 53 minutes.